Imagine a world where your dreams are shaped by 100-page contracts, where every step you take is orchestrated by a billion-dollar machine that doesn't take no for an answer. Companies like hungry vultures turn talented young people into perfect products, ready to profit from every breath, every tear, every rehearsed scene. And if you think this sounds like an exaggeration, I need to tell you something. The truth behind K-dramas starring idols is darker than any soap opera plot. These companies aren't just creating stars. They're forcing artists to become actors, whether they want to or not, all in the name of profit. And the worst part? Fans often applaud without even realizing what's happening behind the scenes. Let's slow down for a second and understand how we got here. K-pop isn't just music. It's a global cultural phenomenon, part of the so-called Korean wave or Hallyu, which has pushed K-dramas, Korean films, and even cosmetics to the center of the world stage. At the heart of it all is the idol, an artist trained for years to sing, dance, model, and of course, act, even if acting was never part of their dream. These companies know that placing an idol in a K-drama isn't just about having a pretty face on screen. It's about drawing in fans, selling albums, and boosting brand value. That's why they don't ask if the idol wants the role. They order it. And if the artist hesitates, well, trainee contracts often have clauses that trap these young performers for years, with heavy penalties or even threats of being blacklisted from the industry. It's a power game where the idol rarely gets a say. But this isn't just about forcing someone to act. It's about what that means. A system that treats people like products, where individuality is crushed under commercial targets. When you see an idol shining in a K-drama, it's not always passion for acting you're seeing. Sometimes it's fear of saying no, pressure from a company that knows a famous face on screen is worth millions. Cases like Yuna from Girls' Generation, who became a successful actress, or EXO members who landed roles despite never showing much interest in acting, reveal just how common this is. But not everyone gets lucky, or has natural talent for it, and the result can be harsh criticism, stress, and even damage to their mental health. So why does this matter? Because K-pop sells the idea of perfection, of dreams coming true, but hides a human cost that doesn't always show up on social media. And while fans keep begging for more content, companies keep tightening the screws, controlling every detail of an idol's life, from the songs they sing to the roles they play. It's a castle built on sand. K-pop is a precision machine, and the agencies are the engineers behind it. From the moment a young person signs as a trainee, they enter a system that doesn't forgive failure and doesn't care about personal will. It's years of brutal training: singing, dancing, languages, charm, and of course acting. Because for giants like SM, YG, and JYP, an idol can't just be one thing. They have to be everything. Training starts early, sometimes with kids as young as 10 or 12, spending up to 18 hours a day in Seoul's academies learning how to be perfect. Acting naturally is part of the package. Suzy from Miss A is a well-known example. In Big 2012, her acting was called robotic and emotionless on forums like The Coup, and she became the target of harsh memes. Years later, Suzy admitted she felt pressured to accept roles just to maintain the group's relevance. Another case is Yeri from Red Velvet, who in Bitch X Rich 2023 was unfavorably compared to Irene and Joy. Twitter users claimed she ruined the drama and had no talent. Agency control goes even further. They decide outfits, lines, even facial expressions on screen. A former SM trainee revealed in an anonymous blog that refusing an acting project meant being frozen. No promotions, no spotlight, sometimes no debut at all. And when the hate rolls in, companies rarely defend their idols. Take Seol-hyun from AOA. In Orange Marmalade, 2015, netizens called her acting embarrassing and forced. Even though she improved in later roles, the trauma from those early attacks stayed with her. These stories reveal a pattern: idols being thrown into roles, often without proper preparation, and facing an audience that demands perfection, while the agencies profit and stay silent. It's a cruel cycle where the artist ends up paying the price for corporate ambition. Every idol who acts is a walking billboard, a lure for new audiences and a multiplier of profits. But why this obsession with turning singers into actors even when the talent or desire isn't there? The answer lies in the cold, calculated strategy of entertainment companies. Acting is a shortcut to dominating Hallyu, the Korean cultural wave that generates billions. An idol in a drama doesn't just elevate their group, they help sell cosmetics, clothes, and even tourism to Korea. It's a chess game where the artist is the pawn, moved strategically to maximize the agency's global influence. And if the cost is an overworked idol or one humiliated by harsh criticism, to the companies, that's just collateral damage. K-dramas on platforms like Netflix and Viki reach millions in over 190 countries. An idol landing even a supporting role gets exposure that a music comeback doesn't always achieve. For instance, when Astro's Cha Eun-woo starred in True Beauty back in 2020, Google searches for the group shot up by 300%, according to Naver data. Agencies know how to exploit this. They use an idol's popularity to draw in fans who later buy albums and concert tickets. There's also the direct profit. Idols and dramas land major endorsement deals. When IU lit up the screen in Hotel Del Luna, 2019, she landed contracts with fashion and beauty brands that earned her agency millions. Even idols with limited acting skills, like Crystal from FX in The Heirs, 2013, secured sponsorships just for having a familiar face. But there's a less obvious side. Acting becomes a way to recycle idols. After years of music comebacks, groups can lose momentum. Putting members in dramas keeps their names alive without depending solely on songs. That's why we saw someone like Dio from EXO, who does have acting talent, pushed into 100 Days My Prince during a group hiatus. And then there's the agency rivalry. SM, JYP, YG, and HYBE are constantly fighting for the crown of Hallyu supremacy, and having successful idol actors is like winning a trophy. It's a race where the artist's well-being is often secondary, and the glow of the screen hides a system that puts profit first. Agencies sell the image of artists living the dream, but for many, acting is a chain, not a choice. Contracts signed in their teenage years, sometimes lasting up to 13 years, give companies total control over their careers, including roles in dramas and films. Refusing? Not an option. This system creates a cycle of forced obedience. The psychological pressure is overwhelming. Idols already deal with insane schedules, rehearsals, recordings, promotions, all under the relentless scrutiny of fans and netizens. Adding acting to the mix, a skill that takes years to master, is like throwing someone untrained into a gladiator arena. In 2016, Hyeri from Girls' Day starred in Reply 1988. Despite the drama's success, she faced brutal criticism on Nate, with comments like, "She only knows how to do aegyo, not act." In a 2020 interview, Hyeri admitted she struggled with anxiety after the backlash, feeling like she wasn't good enough. The numbers confirm the impact. A 2022 study by the Korea Creative Content Agency, KOCCA, revealed that 62% of idols surveyed reported symptoms of anxiety or depression linked to overwork, with acting being cited as one of the main sources of stress for those without prior experience. Idol mental health became a major topic after cases like Sully, former member of FX, who received harsh criticism for her role in To the Beautiful You, and spoke openly about the pressure to be perfect in everything before her tragic death in 2019. The system that forces idols to act is a double-edged sword. It brings in billions, but demands a huge human toll. So the question is, where do we go from here? The K-pop industry is at a turning point, with fans becoming more aware and demanding. Platforms like X and Reddit are filled with discussions about agency ethics, with hashtags like Nanan Protect Idols gaining traction in 2024, and that public pressure is starting to have an effect. For example, after backlash over Blackpink's Lisa being overworked, YG announced in 2023 that they would start scheduling breaks for their artists, something unthinkable just a few years ago. Still, forced acting remains deeply embedded in the system, and changing that means breaking away from the profit above all mindset. The future depends on two things: the voice of the fans and the courage of the idols. Fan movements have already sparked change, like in 2020, when fans boycotted Cube Entertainment products after reports of mismanagement, forcing the company to revise contracts. If that kind of activism grows, it could push for fairer deals with clauses that respect the artist's will. And idols need room to speak out. Cases like Kang Daniel, who won a legal battle against his agency in 2019 and now chooses his own projects, show that it is possible to break free. But that takes legal and financial support, something not all idols have. So tell me, what are you, as a fan, willing to do to make sure K-pop isn't just a shiny but fragile house of cards? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And by the way, we've got a great new video telling you exactly which Korean actors are heading to the military in the second half of 2025. It's on your screen now. Just click and watch. See you there.